Hey everyone, welcome to the second week of groups for the Casual and Boots Invitational ladder. Someday I'll be able to get that out of my mouth. And we are off right away. Wow, that was faster than expected.
Well, we're
Um,
expecting to go fast all night, aren't we?
that too. And wealthily, apparently. Um, anyway, I'm Drosy. I've got Ceruvian here with me.
I got
We're
roped
gonna have
into
some
this.
fun here.
I got roped in. I'm just kidding. No, we all know you're all here to watch Maniacal hover, right?
Probably.
Oh,
I mean,
what?
isn't hovering the main point of the game?
Oh yeah, it's a hover to the pass, right? You just hovered again and it's free.
I mean, have you seen that ROM hack? That's what everyone's playing, right?
It's the new hotness. No, this is the old hotness. Casual boots. This is the second week of our invitational bracket. These two made top eight. Well, we got some big stakes at this game tonight. This is a win and in for Orange.
Yeah. And pretty well losing out for him as well, based on the tiebreakers, because P Train has two very narrow losses combined. So, um, yeah, basically Orange wins and he's in. Maniacal wins tonight and tomorrow night and he's in. And otherwise, if there's a tiebreaker, P Train is very well situated for the tiebreaker, so
As
can
it
still go
stands,
anyway.
as it stands right now, if Orange wins tonight and Maniacal wins tomorrow, then Orange is in no matter what. But if Maniacal wins tonight and P-Train wins tomorrow, as long as Orange loses by like less than a minute or something, he's fine on the three-way 1-2. Somehow. That's a bomb drop. We have
Now you're gonna
bombs
make me
in
do
our
the math.
guards. Oh, don't do math. Math is hard. That's some very interesting roads both players took to get here. Orange swept his group in the first week. So, quietly but not so quietly, just kind of plugging through here.
Maniacal, as I recall, there were some tiebreakers applied last week.
Yeah, to be a little bit more specific, Orange actually took wins over all three of P-Train, Gem, and Tam last week. Gem, of course, was our number one seed coming in.
Yeah, that was just really impressive. I mean, that was a tough group. No two ways about it.
And Maniacal squeaking in a group swept by Telethar, all three other players at 1 and 2. He gets in on tiebreakers alone.
Yeah, and the other two players were Relkin and I'm trying to remember.
Kaide.
Right.
So this will be a fun one to see how these two, definitely no strangers to the scene. Maniacal, of course, used to play some pretty sharp NMG back in the day. He's been hanging around the SMZ3 circuit, came back into the fold with bottles on empty over in League, and he is just killing it. Orange, quietly one of the, shall I say, more fun personalities I've gotten to know personally and learn and play with. Mostly a cross keys player. Hasn't had any luck in things like main tournament, but here he is, about to punch his ticket to top 4 with a win tonight.
Yeah, and the other three of the top four are confirmed at this point. They will be Ninjembro, Thalane, and Ganon's Gone Wild. So it's going to be a tough top four no matter how you slice it.
And it's been one heck of a tournament all season long. You've had some pretty close games between a lot of fantastic names here in the ladder, and including, and not limited to, these guys right here. To have to just play their win to the top to just hold on to a very volatile ranking towards the end here. Oh, I like that from Orange, realizing that guards are dropping bombs is going to go ahead and pick up a whole bunch from the snakes in that room. Rossi, what are we hoping to see from this seed tonight?
Well, I was hoping for a jet seed, but you won't let me hope for it.
Well, I mean, obviously we gotta hope that something goes horribly wrong, right? No, not horribly wrong, but you can't have a jet seed unless you're talking about like a sub-hour seed. Then that'd be amazing to watch.
Didn't Maniacal do just that once in ladder?
Did he?
Like I think he has like a 49-minute Kaz boots where like he was playing against GGW and GGW got a 51, which under any other circumstance would have shattered the world record, except Maniacal got a 49. It was something crazy like that.
I think I found it. It's a 51-20 to a
Okay.
53-47, where Maniacal beats GGW. That was
Either
actually
way,
that was all the way back in August. How do you remember something like that? I can't even remember what I had for breakfast yesterday.
because it was kind of a big deal because I remember like GGW's time was absolutely mind-blowing and he lost.
51-minute casual boots seed. Why the heck not? Literally Moon Pearl Go mode. Let's go. Quick map check. We've got crystals in 2 spots, and I didn't see desert.
GGW, by the way, clinched his spot in next week's groups by virtue of beating all 3 of the runners left in this group.
Yeah, all these guys and P-Train all took a loss to GGW, who also kind of bullied my group last week, including me. I'm pretty sure I just got lucky. Nothing coming from the tree pole. We are going to see Maniacal go ahead and check Lumberjack Ledge, which is something you might do just to make sure that you don't leave something there later. Really not far from Lumberjack being in play here. If you get another sword, you can already climb Castle Tower.
Ooh, just what we want to see, right?
I don't know about that.
I mean, that's the opposite of hoping for a jet seed, right? Hoping for Aga.
No, I mean, have you ever actually seen a jet seed where it's also an Aga seed, where it's just like, you go up Castle Tower, you get a major item on the pyramid, suddenly you're cruising through Dark World and you're done in like an hour 10.
Yeah, I've seen like hour 5 Aga seeds and Kaz boots.
First look at Kakariko. Orange is going to give us the Blind Sut, as is typical for most players usually. Do we have really, like, Tier 2 is Tier 1, and Tier 1 is Tier 2 vanilla on the tree poles? Come on, game.
And if we do Tier 3, what, it's gonna be vanilla?
Oh, it's going to be, like, small magics or something.
Oh, I was hoping for big magic.
Hey, stun item, let's go.
What's the stun prize gonna be? A single rupee again?
Well, I mean, you were hoping for big magic, so let's see it.
That would be a fun stun prize, honestly. Not
actually,
that we, besides the lamp, not that we really have any magic stuff.
That's just it. Having full magic as your stun prize makes magic that much more of a utility.
Right, we just would need to get a magical item that we'd want to use. Quake does not count.
What do you mean you don't want to use Quake?
I mean, I suppose it's nice on the dead rocks, right? Not too often you see that.
Dead rocks, it's nice on... Oh, there's your half magic, so that's not even a concern anymore. It's nice on Pengators. It will actually one-shot Pengators. It'll stun Gibdos.
As long as the Pengators aren't jumping.
Yeah, you can't exactly hit a flying or airborne enemy with... Hey, we heard you like boomerangs!
Yeah, hello, Boomerang City.
It's the better boomerang!
No, that's the worst boomerang.
No, it's not the green boomerang. We don't have that.
Green boomerang, that's interesting.
Green boomerang. I've never heard of it called the green boomerang before. Are you kidding? Please tell me you're kidding.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Am I missing something? We've got flippers marked for...
I didn't see flippers.
I didn't see flippers either. Is he manual tracking?
Blame Lazy Kid, as I recall Lazy Kid's doing all the tracking for this.
Oh, I mean, Lazy Kid put a bow on the library, so you can practice your archery while you read.
Yeah, and Orange, was so in the habit of, there's junk in library, I'm just going to walk right out.
I can just hear it. I can hear it in his voice. I can hear it going, go back in, go back in, go back in. And it's just not cross keys. You still have to say it. Yeah, Orange is, he's one of those entrance junkies. Like me.
Yes, I mean, your whole crew is kind of entrance junkies.
What do you mean, my crew? I haven't got a crew. I'm a lone Dirk. Unless Zeke's involved somehow. Going straight to Eastern Palace, can you really blame him? It's a crystal. We have 3 crystals in the light world with that 5/6 sitting on desert.
And with that early lamp, it is fully in logic.
I like this play, actually. You do this in lieu of, Pod being appended and Mirror not being available till late or something.
Oh,
Maniacal has the same idea.
looks like Maniacal is manual tracking. Ooh, glove in Saha's closet. So, slowly getting a non-Aga option for Dark World.
Slowly. We don't have Aga access yet. We still need either a sword or a cape to make that a reality.
Right. Whereas we're 2 items from non-Aga access.
It's okay, we'll probably just get a sword and a moon pearl here in Eastern, right?
That would be impressive. I mean, only 3 items in Eastern to begin with. It'll probably be a book and send us to Desert now that we have, a glove and a fire source.
See, now look, now that you said it, we'll get the book, and then we'll have them run and split Dam to Desert when your progression's just sitting in mini Moldorm Cave this entire time, and they're never gonna go get it. There's your sword, there, see?
Okay, fine. Aga and Logic now.
You're welcome.
But it would only be worth doing if Moon Pearl shows up, or if Moon Pearl happened to be sitting on Pyramid Ledge or something, locking Moon Pearl sitting on Pyramid Ledge.
Could you imagine it's a mirror on Pyramid Ledge for a book in Hera for a Moon Pearl on Aether?
Yikes.
Right,
we do have logical mountain access, but without mirror or hookshot, we can't really do much there.
Well, you can do just enough to be like, wow, this was a waste of time. Chad is asking why Orange has a slight lead. Did he not check Lumberjack? That is true. He did not check Lumberjack. In fact, Lumberjack would be a waste of time. It's $5.
Well, you know what they say, just go where the progression is, so...
You just know where the items are, Forehead.
Yeah. Why check Lumberjack, then, if it's not progression?
Ah, Vanilla Big Key. You love to see it.
At least you don't have to make decisions about a 50-50 this way.
Yeah, you can still walk past Big Chest and last locate, like Bombos or something. Not that we've ever seen somebody last locate an item in Eastern before.
I mean... It's not like last locating it. We'll open Big Chest when we come back around to it, and we have to do Armos anyway since it's a crystal. At least, I hope the runners don't just dash by Big Chest once they come back around to it.
And then get bailed out when the item's on Armos Knights? Wow, I did not see that big key coming.
Nope, couldn't possibly have been somewhere else.
What do you mean we're not playing Key Sanity? Alright, it's casual boots. It's go fast and execute hard. And the item's on Armos Knights anyway!
But I'm sure Maniacal's gonna grab that compass too. Otherwise, how are the runners gonna find Armos Knights,
Oh man, I've never seen an Armos Knights ever. Not even once.
Because you never get the compass?
No, it's because I'm blind.
Oh. So you never make it out of Thieves Town, then?
I mean, I'm still locked in the basement. Please come rescue me. Don't ask me why I'm wearing a dress. You don't need to know.
I was about to say,
I said don't ask.
Well, I mean, we support all manner of gender expression here.
Oh, I figured out what MSU this is by not being done.
What is it?
It's Pizza Tower.
Oh.
Here I was not knowing what it was. Oh, no Moon Pearl. Go figure.
Wow, 0 progression.
What do you mean? We got a sword. That counts.
Okay, fine. That opens up Aga. Aga doesn't count until it does.
Drossi, the sword is a go mode item.
Yes, I suppose so.
Even though there's 2 more of them, the sword is a go mode item.
Fine, let me rephrase. There's nothing that doing Eastern has immediately opened up for us except Aga Tower. but we are definitely not gonna rush Aga without the Moon Pearl even, when
No, you
there's
don't.
so many more overworld checks.
At the very least, you do MMC before you go up to the castle tower here. Yeah, you don't want to leave a moon pearl or a hammer and a moon pearl or a flute and a mirror or some modicum of progression elsewhere.
And we have plenty of money in Zora's and logic, so that could be an incentive to do fake flippers and conclude with a Zora check.
I mean, Zora's also something that you probably want to get out of the way before going up there, since there is a non-zero chance you just end up finding progression on Catfish without a mirror. Hey, look, our first bottle. So now we can talk about the sick kid. I mean, the lazy kid.
Yes, he's sitting in bed, operating the trackers, as we've said. If you show him a bottle, he might, give us something on the side and put it on the tracker too. Oh, there's the book
There's
we
your
were
book.
talking about.
There's your book. See? Now we've got... Oh, there's another sword. Okay. So in this case, I do like Maniacal's route better because he's doing what some runners would just curl over to the desert area. Oh, he's splitting it. So he's going to go get these flippers checks first.
I don't mind this either. Then he'll save and quit and do the dam and go west from there.
Yeah, there's a few variations that we've seen since previous year's main tournament where some players will go ahead and split the dam with Agina and Minimulurm Cave with Ice Rod Cave and Flippers checks and whatnot. And you could also start at Minimulurm Cave and go west. Completely skip that the dam exists.
Oh,
that's a really nice moon pearl.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a frozen jawbreaker. But given that book, you kind of have to do desert. Sphere 1 book and all.
Do you have to?
I mean, it's a crystal. Why not?
Don't give me your logic now.
And of course, it being Kaz boots, a water walk is always in order.
Oh, and Orange is going to set up the double. He's going to go ahead and save this water walk and probably run from the man under the bridge here.
Who is a tinkerer and has fabricated a nice object that he will give to us out of the goodness of his heart, or just some money to go away.
He's just a counterfeiter. He's just giving you $20. You can find that anywhere. It grows on trees in this world.
Yeah, and well, if it's counterfeit, I wonder if the next merchant's gonna, hold it up to the light, look for the little magnetic strip in it.
What are they gonna do? Send you back to the Bank of Hyrule where you claim to have gotten it from? They gonna send the guards after you? Well, let's see. We've already slain a number of those. Then now you're wanted for murder.
Doesn't stop Karen from doing, well, the two Karens from doing it anyway.
So they have proper names. Their names are Karen and also Karen.
I think of them as Karen East and Karen West.
We'll see if... Well, there's myths, so we have out-of-logic access to the Dark World.
This is why fake flippering can sometimes be a very good idea. Ooh, and the Waterfall Fairy is giving blue goo. Very nice reward.
Watch Zora just give us flippers now. I did not see what is sitting there on the Zora ledge. It is a mail upgrade, and I don't think we'll see either runner even attempt it. Especially seeing as we've already dispatched Armos Knights and would need to drown some bombs to do that in the first place. And
that's a kind of tough Ancilla splash delete to do to begin with, because you basically have to make it last long enough to splash twice and get it deleted twice.
Oh, the bow and bomb splash delete there is easy, but you're just never going to do it when you have, well, let's see. No bombs, no arrows, really, because you've just fought the Armos Knights, and you have to drown a couple bombs anyway. So Orange is going to go straight over to Desert now. And both runners know that those myths are out of logic behind a pair of flippers.
So we would expect
probably
to see...
looking for that first.
Yeah, I was going to say, we would expect to see those flippers relatively soon. If they show up somewhere in the Dark World, that certainly tells us a lot about things.
Yeah, I think what we're expecting here is that we'll probably see either a hammer or a tell that our access is intended through Aghanim, and then just kind of ignore it and Gurn jump or something.
Speaking of access to things, Desert is a 5/6, so there is always the possibility of Hammer and Pyramid Fairy.
I wish you hadn't reminded me that.
I forget who, but someone was complaining about having had a race with that recently. And Hammer and Pyramid Fairy does logically require Aga, though there are bomb dupe tricks to avoid it.
Oh, absolutely. There's a really tricky one, too. I heard conversation elsewhere about having to set up the bomb dupe from a kern jump in cross keys. That's
Ugly.
I don't. If you can manage to pull that off, please do. Make it look easy so that it's like you look like an absolute genius when your progression is the entrance at Pyramid, but when it's not, then should feel silly.
Okay, there's one of our 2 items in Desert, and it's just a heart container. Though we haven't seen the ledge yet, I'm sure the runners will just check it when they're done with the front.
Sigh, vanilla big key again. See, now I'm expecting it to be in Hera's basement for a third all light world big keys vanilla. Why not?
Probably. And we don't have the hook shot, so if we wind up out there, we would have to grab that big key if we wanted to beat the dungeon.
Or just wait till later.
Yes, but if it's like our logical progression in Hera or something. If it's hook shot in Hera, for instance. Ooh.
Well, there is Ether in the Desert Big Chest. Hopefully it doesn't come into play later, but better to have it now than to have to go looking for it.
Now, here's an interesting question. Do you beat Landmo now because you're in the area and don't know if or when the mirror and flute might even show up or not?
We have a 3-pendant Dark World. I think you have to assume that Myre's one of those pendants. You do this now.
Or Swamp's one of those pendants and we're not getting a mirror, for that matter.
Hey, well, look at that. We got a raid from Mr. Adirondack Rick coming in from our previous race here on the ladder. Little Retrance action at 9 o'clock tonight. Welcome to Go Fast the Mode. The 2 Go Fast participants, Maniacal and Orange.
So I guess the runners must have checked Desert Ledge. I didn't see it, but must be done.
Pretty sure it was just 3 bombs.
Oh, okay.
Orange forgetting where the key was briefly. It's always interesting
well,
to see
those
that
two
happen.
rooms look very similar.
Or, if you play enough pot shuffle, then it just kind of happens that way.
Next on ladder, True Pot Hunt Invitational.
No, don't even start. The patrons are probably already voting for that.
I haven't read that document yet. I'll be interested to see what our options are.
Was this fight worth staying for? Absolutely. Oh, look at that hybrid strat of just shooting an arrow and getting the slash in. That's awesome.
So that'll be 2 crystals out of the way relatively quickly.
Yeah, but no progression here either. So I'm assuming this is intended to be an Agaseed. Unless there is something really mind-blowing on either Lazy Kid or Inagina's Cave.
Or the Old Man or Spec Rock.
No, you don't go up the mountain here.
I mean, you get the save point.
Not even once. 2 really good-looking Landmo fights from these guys.
Yeah, of course, tempered helps, but even so, there's
it helps when your
timing.
Your sword does the same amount of damage as your arrows do. What do we get? Wow, $1! I feel like at this point you just go straight to Kakariko, check the Lazy Kid, and get your butt in the Dark World.
Are we going to talk about Agina's lack of a 401k fund?
No.
Hey, Orange is going out of logic here and checking King's Tomb.
How could you, Orange? Watch this be flippers.
It can't... Well, that would mean it's behind the mirror.
That would mean it's behind the mirror, yeah. But no, it's just another bottle. Which, in this situation, you probably don't want to see a fairy bottle. Although we haven't picked up any male upgrades yet, so that's not the worst thing.
How have we picked up female upgrades?
I mean,
Well, we were discussing
Uh,
how you're, in Blind's
I,
basement
it's- I,
getting cross-dressed and
you're
everything.
making it sound so much worse than it really has to be. Listen, I don't kink shame. Don't you start. Anyway, we have nothing but a little bit of love from the lazy kid, as you do here at the ladder.
I think the, the mountain is calling. The hills are alive with the sound of music.
The hills are not mountains, Rossi. What are the mountains alive with?
The sound of drum beats?
Maniacal going to go ahead and climb this mountain. Hey, look, we've got a pendant on Swamp. Go figure. Actually, Meyer is a crystal.
Yeah, and Skull Woods is our other 5/6. Turtle Rock was a green pendant, and Ice is our remaining pendant.
Maniacal, did we just fall into the hole?
Well,
we don't
you
have
know, the old
logical,
man needs some good calisthenics.
Now, hold on here. We don't have logical access over here yet.
To where?
Village of Outcasts.
Oh, right, because we're breaking logic with those mitts that we got from fake flippering or water walking. And hey, there's a hook shot.
Oh, that's huge. That hook shot is huge for Maniacal. For two reasons. One, well, not even Maniacal, but also for Orange. Oh my god, I'm getting my names mixed up. We're only 26 minutes in!
So let's follow logic here. Assuming that it is an Agaseed and that Hammer isn't sitting in Spec Rock with Maniacal about to pick it up, which he is blind pulling because of his last check in logic, then our access to West Dark World must either be via Flippers to get the mitts or via Hammer.
Yeah, so you have either Flippers or Hammer somewhere in East Dark World, and you're not sure which one, and you really don't care if it's the Flippers or not. You're more than content to just keep digging around here and hoping your Hammer's just behind everything else. Of course, if it's just Hammer, then it could just be Hammer and Pod, because why not?
I mean, it's not like we ever see items in their vanilla dungeons.
But the Hammer in Palace of Darkness is like the worst. Hey, look, Silvers! Oh, this is a free seat, isn't it?
Yeah, tempered silvers already. And we will have to beat Vitreous, so those silvers will get some action.
We talk about how that's our third vanilla big key. Is this even randomized?
I'm glad you're keeping track of that because it doesn't even occur to me.
By the way, our third pendant's on ice, if you didn't notice. Because I didn't.
Yeah, so it's interesting, like, Ice and Swamp being both pendants, it is likely that the only thing we logically need those flippers for is the mitts. Which means, if the mitts are just if the flippers are just hanging out somewhere deep in Pod, what do we even care as long as we can find the Hammer?
I just want to point out that I just sneezed twice off camera or off microphone because I am allergic to the idea of flippers only being required for mitts.
Would you prefer that we have to dive Pendant Ice and or Pendant Swamp?
I would like to see a mirror. I want to see our runners suffer in Pendant Swamp.
I was going to say, to get Hammer on left side. Wait, that's impossible.
We haven't seen the key here in Thieves Town yet.
No, so 50-50 that it's locking itself.
And if so, then we know this dungeon is blocked logically by the Hammer.
Not going to stop us from completing it.
No, of course not. You'll actually be happy to see the keys blocked, but the key logic would indicate that you will use your keys in the worst possible way, and that would mean opening the big chest door.
Now, it could also be that the Hammer is sitting in Blind Cell. Well, your
It could also
cell.
be that the Hammer is... Oh, yeah? I've got a Hammer sitting next to me?
And you didn't
Joker's
even
to the
hammer
left
your
of
way
me,
out.
Hammer's to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle of you. Do you ever try digging with a hammer? Oh, by the way, there's the key.
Oof. Well, blinds and logic, I didn't count items. Are we gonna be abandoning something here, or have we not seen the map and the compass yet?
The map was in the attic. I don't know if we saw the compass. Hey, we saw the silver. I think we saw the compass, so we have an item at the big chest. And blind can have the hammer now. Of course, you don't want to see that.
Both of these runners are seasoned veterans with the blind script, I'm sure.
And taken care of for it's hey look.
Well, Orange is short on arrows. Blind's trying to help him out. Not very much, but well, you know, one more arrow than he came in with.
Can we talk about how we're joking that I'm blind and there's my arrow? I'm blind. All right, we are probably going to do Mirrorless Smith here. Probably, right?
Well, first the dig game, but yeah, then take Jeremiah on a world tour.
I'm honestly intrigued. We didn't bother with Skull Woods. Neither of these runners went for Skull Woods.
Probably because knowing it's a crystal anyway, and they're going to have to do it eventually, they're hoping to find the Fire Rod. Of course, maybe the Fire Rod's vanilla.
Don't say that. The game is sentient. It will hear you. We're not even grabbing Jeremiah. We're just going.
Wow, that's kind of surprising.
Not really. I mean, this is where the density is, going down to Hype Cave.
Right, but it doesn't take that long to grab Jeremiah, and then you just keep him until you make it back to Kakariko.
I think this is one of those calls of the Smith chain just doesn't exist. You'd rather do it all at once if you can. Not to mention, as is pointed out in chat, we are very much still out of logic.
Yep, so what next if Hype Cave isn't the answer?
The thing is, Hype Cave is also not likely to be the answer, but it could give us a clue. If there's something that we need here in Hype Cave, like flippers, then we know Hammer is very nearby. And, well, we can go look for it in ice if we really want. There's a cane!
And we have all 3 medallions, completed our coin collection, so we will be able to open Meyer when the time comes.
Orange says no. I think, actually, what we might see...
Mountain?
Mountain. Because it could just easily be flippers hanging out in the pod area, for all we know.
Well, if Hammer's on the mountain, then we definitely know that. And if so, there was no way in hell we were going to be getting that last item in Thieves Town. But in any case, as it is, both runners ditched it, so they're on equal footing.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of an aggression here from Orange to be like, well, I just don't care where the hammer or the flippers are. I'm probably going to get it later anyway. You find everything else you need up here, like your flute, your fire rod, the hammer itself. If it's just flippers, then you're sitting pretty.
Yeah.
The only problem is you can't do Hera while you're up here.
Right, I was going to say, we need the hammer or the mirror for that.
It could very well just as easily be the mirror sitting on the pyramid or in Palace of Darkness, leading to a hammer in Hera.
Ew. Or leading to the flippers in Hera.
Well, Orange and I have played that scene before, so I had to put it out there.
Oh, well, Orange got hook speed and wound up dodging a dead rock into a cave.
That is lamenting the idea of Aghanim just for access to East Dark World. Well, I mean, that's why things like Kern Jump exist. And also, you can probably circumvent it if you go hard enough out of logic here. Yeah, surprisingly, Maniacal is not racing SMZ3 tonight. Surprisingly.
But what do we need at this point? We absolutely need that hammer wherever it is.
Wherever it is. We're going to see both runners do the same thing now. Maniacal's going to join Orange on the mountain. We do know we need the fire rod. We do not need any medallions because we have a complete coin collection, and I think all we need at that point is probably just...
Loot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're potentially 3 items from go mode here. See, not too jetty, but jetty enough if the items show up here. And the slight routing divergences have kind of caught up with each other.
Oh, okay. So what that's telling me is...
Hammer and pod, or maybe catfish.
I mean, we definitely won't find it up here now, I don't think. Because those flippers block the... Those flippers are blocked by the hookshot, which is blocked by access to West Dark World, which we know is now Hammer.
Mushroom on the floating island there. Unless the mirror suddenly shows up, I don't think we're picking that up. So the game wanted you up here before getting the Titan's mitts.
Sure did. All the more reason to be excited if you see your flute up here. Or your fire rod, or, you know.
We also know that Hammer is not in Pyramid Fairy now, because if it were, there'd be no way to get to Skull Woods. Hey, for out of logic checks, you want a cheese spike cave?
No.
We have blue goo and 11 hearts. Could easily do it.
And how are you getting in?
Oh, duh. Good old Hammer.
I mean, in Hammer, we have determined can't be up here. Just vibrate through the peg. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? Just replace your Tempered Sword with a Crystal Sword and just vibrate through the pegs. Hover over the pegs. You know, I don't put that past anyone. If you can hover.
Someone will find a way to do it, eventually.
What do we got? What do we got? 10 arrows. What else do we got? Anything? 20 bucks.
A lot of
Nothing at all.
So we're gonna have to kern jump if we don't want to.
We have the flippers.
Oh, right. We have the. Oh, right. Hey, I've seen runners kern jump with the flippers. It works 100% of the time.
50% of the time, it works every time.
Just like when they fake flipper with the flippers, you know, south of Ice Rod Cave or whatever.
Like fake powder with real powder?
Well, that's actually a thing if you're out of magic.
These two runners have half magic, so they're not running out of magic.
Most likely. At this point, do you do catfish before you go to pod? Since you're coming from the north.
I think you have to. You will never be closer to catfish.
That's a sad statement. What if we wanted some brotherly love?
Well, then, we already got it from Zora, so catfish can just go. Ugh. I am not a freaky fish dragon. Last I checked, anyway. Anyway, we are going to see catfish first, because for all you know, catfish just has your mirror or your hammer or something.
Or maybe the flute and we can go deeper out of logic.
Oh, God. No, mirror is also in play here if hammer's just in Hera, like I suggested. Because that would also give us the flippers in the mitts and logic.
Right.
Left.
Or if hammer's on Ether Tablet, for that matter.
Gross.
The book hasn't really gotten us anything. I mean, yes, we needed to beat Desert, but there was nothing of use in Desert.
Hey, would you look at that? It's an Aga seed to get hammer off of catfish, and you'll probably go to pod first if you do Aga.
And now we can just full clear pod in one go.
You know, I hate to break this to you, but pod's probably going to put us in go mode.
You think Fire Rod and Flute are both in there?
I wouldn't be surprised. I think one of the two is going to be in there, and the other one's literally just on the path.
What if they're both in Hera?
Then I'm retiring. I'm retowering. That sounds terrible.
Remembering to check Pyramid Ledge, which never gets enough love.
I mean, today it's just a bottle, so it is full of empty.
We will not be getting bottle percent, alas.
See, now in this situation, you want the big key to pod to just be up front, so you can save and quit out of the back.
I'm waiting for a ladder mode where, like, the Triforce is on Lazy Kid, but the bottles are guaranteed to be in truly awful places.
See, one's on Ped, one's at the top of GT, one's in Pyramid Fairy, and one's on Trinex.
Or maybe in GT Big Chest.
And one's on Lumberjack.
Oh, there you go.
And it's beatable only.
Haven't had a good beatable only ladder mode in a while.
Yeah, there is. It's called Mystery.
Yes, I suppose it comes up there, but
I mean, it shows. We had one the other night that people were getting upset about.
It's nothing like Gold Rush, though.
Ask IB Karma about his mystery the other night. He knew he was good within 20 minutes when his opponent forfeit without even knowing it was his opponent. Because the seed was that bad. Nightmare settings, 1/6 defeat, expert item pool, boss shuffle, shuffled enemy damage, beatable only.
I love beatable only when you see both the lamp and the flute on the mountain.
And pray tell, how does your goal go again?
Definitely not a defeat Ganon goal in that case.
It could be fast, you know.
Yes.
Gas cannon, reduce crystals, pedestal, triangle hunt.
Well, which brings us back to Gold Rush.
Yeah, but Gold Rush also hits Key Sanity, doesn't it?
Now it does.
But it didn't
originally.
Before. Right. Oh,
Maniacal's doing the hover here.
We're gonna see it.
Oh, man. Got close. If you can do that, it saves quite a bit of time.
Yeah, it saves this entire sequence that Orange is currently working on. Which, well, now he's at the resolution. There's your big key!
It wasn't vanilla.
You rush. It wasn't. It's the first big key tonight that we've gone into a dungeon and found that it wasn't vanilla. Thanks, game.
And with that early big key, we're just going to beat the boss, hoping for an item there so that we can hopefully not have to do the entire back if we can isolate the map and compass.
Now, if you get your flute, do you leave? Most people are going to say, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, we haven't gotten that many items out of Pod yet. What was in Stalfo's basement?
Heart container.
Okay, so yeah, that's the one item we've gotten. So if flute happens to be here, there's still 3 items in the back.
Right. But if you don't get anything on Helma and you find a flute in back, for example, do you leave?
Well, at that point, you're so close to the remaining items, you might as well just get them.
I'm just like, do you ever feel so aggressive that you just don't feel like finding your fire rod in Pod? We know it's going to be in ice, right?
It doesn't seem worth it to me. Oh yeah, we do have Bombos, and Rule of Fire hasn't been invoked yet.
Yet. What do you mean? I just willed it into existence.
I suppose there's logical Rule of Fire, since we logically needed Aga for Bombos.
Watch out, Helma, that's a sliver!
It's only secretly a sliver.
No. Sean's not involved in this, is he? look, a compass. Go figure.
So
We're
you
going
definitely
for
do the
flute and
backwards.
iced tea. No. Now, I was saying get your fire rod out of ice. I'm not saying get your flute out of ice to find your fire rod somewhere else.
Get your flute out of your mouth.
You don't know where that's been. But it's my flute. Of course I know where that's been.
This one time at band camp?
No. Jossie, no.
Stuff I can't say on speed gaming.
Listen, I'm going to sign up every single one of you in chat for Bandcamp. We're going to have a blast.
Maniacal deciding not to use silvers. He must have silvers even if it's not marked on his tracker because I saw him get them in Thieves Town.
Yeah, he has them. He just decided
Big
that he would rather perform violent acts of murder on Helmasaur King.
Hey, a unique item in Pod Basement.
It's opposite world vanilla. We call that chocolate where I come from.
Opposite world vanilla? Oh, because it's originally an Eastern?
Yeah, it's usually an Eastern. It's usually the cannonball check in Eastern, actually.
I did not remember that. Because the game doesn't want to give you 300s that early, but wants to give you some money.
It's implicitly suggesting that if you go buy a bottle off the bottle merchant and show it to the lazy kid, he'll give you a bug net for some reason. Because, he's
and we need to go to
fascinated by a bottle.
Eastern to have this suggested to us.
Of course. There's really nothing here. No, Maniacal's just... He doesn't like silver. He prefers gold.
Make
Hey,
new
look,
friends
there's
keep
nothing
fuel.
here.
One is silver and the other's gold.
All right, Orange, where are we headed? We're going to Ice Palace, Drosy.
Wow.
This is straight to Ice Palace without hesitation. We've got Tower of Hera. We've got Skull Woods. It is.
But Skull Woods, I would think you would do before. I can understand not wanting to do the very long hike all the way around to Hera.
Right.
But not even dipping Skull Woods? We'll see what Maniacal does after he finishes Pod. Could be our first real divergence here.
Yeah, we've seen them pretty much make the same decisions through and through, but this ice play is just so outlandish. I like it. It's the most accessible dungeon from any spawn point. And it's 3 quick items since we found the Cane of Samaria and Hype Cave.
And then you get the heck out and assume it's not a ped seed.
If you find the mirror here, what do you do?
Is your suggestion to dive swamp? No, if I find the mirror here, then I go to Hera because I have a much easier route to it.
Well, Maniacal is going to give us Tower of Hera.
And
He might also have a peek inside of Turtle Rock when he's done there too. Can you really blame him in that case? There's our first item out of Ice Palace, is just a piece of heart. Hey guys, we have a prediction going on in chat here, thanks to our moderators in the background. How many progression items do you think we're going to be sitting around in Skull Woods this entire time while our runners have decided that Skull Woods apparently doesn't exist? Feel free to gamble a few of those ladder points. There's your flute in Ice Palace!
No!
Why is that there? We are go -1, folks. And
Why
now the
is
progression
that there? That just...
The progression would have to be a vanilla fire rod.
I'm broken. I'm really broken now.
All right, so Maniacal's giving us Tower of Hera. We can now go ahead and just knock down Crystal Mire and get the surrounding checks as soon as this flute is active. Oh, okay, fine. Just put the big key in our laps. Why not?
See, we broke the vanilla big key pattern, and now we can never retrieve it. All future big keys must not be vanilla.
By the way, the directive from our esteemed leader, Big Dunka, in chat says, never skip Skull Woods. Not even once. So
Or
obviously
as
both
Danny
runners...
Music, as Danny Music would say, Skullwood's got the goods.
Oh, wow. Poetic, poetic. We have seen one item out of Hera with just 3 bombs in the map chest. Don't even look. You have all 3 coins. Oh, gosh. Oh, that's gross, because...
So, Fire Rod on Magic Bat?
No. Oh,
Hey,
but there's the boots!
They're boots, yes. Which have no logical implications whatsoever.
Especially since they've been melted down and recycled into money.
Oh, I thought Lazy Kid just sold them for, some change. Kind of like Jack and the Beanstalk sort of thing.
So this is going to be a crystal knocked down from Maniacal. As you can see, he's already pre-tracked that Moldorm is dead. And he already has the crystal. Time travel, everybody!
So Maniacal briefly ahead on the crystal count, but we'll have to see what he does next here. I mean, if Fire Rod's in TR and he goes into TR, that would be pretty amazing.
I'm not going to lie to you, I think we might see one check TR. We might also see just... No, yeah, he's going to TR.
Spike Cave gets no love.
I mean, Spike Cave's not even in Logic right now. I mean, I
Oh,
guess,
right, we still don't have
is.
any invincibility items.
Question from chat, did he just not check the book? Oh no, he got his blueberries off of Ether Tablet, that's fine. You don't need those. Depending on what's in our bottles, we could go ahead and do Spike Cave anyway, because why wouldn't you, to be completely honest?
Looks like Quake was potentially the only medallion we needed. I say potentially because if Fire Rod is in Mire, then Bombos was hard required.
And we have a Godmire. Orange is just going for it.
Why not?
I mean, the item on Vidi could just be it, and if it's not, you come back in and it's not too much time.
I don't think he's gone a spooky action glitch, though.
We're about to find out. I don't think so.
What would he spooky with? He doesn't have the Fire Rod.
I mean, he could just use Magic Missile into the darkness.
I'm going to cast Magic Missile.
Okay. And where are you targeting? Very keen little juke there to remember that.
There are kids around. I can't say that sort of stuff.
Uh-oh. So you're telling me that you're not going to Magic Missile my ass? Okay. Maniacal is going to immediately check that powder. I like this, actually. The chat's pointing something. We have kids at midnight on a Saturday.
I don't know. For our West Coast viewers, it's only 9 p.m. on a Saturday.
Still, that's after curfew.
For our European viewers, maybe they're up at 6 in the morning on a Sunday. Kids have a way of doing that.
It's still tea time. Or they're at the skate park or something. What do we got on... Oh, you got a key on Vidi and some more blueberries on the bat. So, Tower of Hera was not the answer.
What was in Mire Bridge chest?
Small key.
Okay, so we haven't found any items out of Mire then.
Correct. We've gotten a key, a big key, and a key. Again, 2 keys is going to make this a nice redive for Orange, which he will absolutely take care of now. That flute is going to be his lone advantage for a little bit here. It is 2 p.m. Sunday in Australia. Okay, the kids could very well be out from Australia, but we know they're saying more crass things than that.
Okay, Maniacal's going to give us a look at Skull Woods.
Let's see that go mode Fire Rod in Skull Woods.
It won't be Maniacal's go mode. He hasn't been diced yet.
True. It'll be our no mode. Maniacal needs to make his way over to Ice Palace. He needs to believe in Ice Palace. Uh-oh, that's not something to believe in. Well, we didn't see anything at a Turtle Rock either, so... Oh, gosh, we don't want that. That's the wrong rod. It's the... No, wait, no, that's fine, right? That's the blue Fire Rod.
We can kill Argus with it.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I think two things. Orange, no.
What did he just... Why? What? Orange?
Orange, no. Or- You don't push the middle block. You could have fixed that by just
Oh, and we just
looking
got both
through.
items out of Skull Woods, by the way.
And the second item was absolutely nothing.
Skull Woods don't got the goods.
Now, wait a minute. We do have one item sitting in the Thieves' Big Chest. Could this be
Oh, no.
Maniacal running back for that in particular? Or could this be the Smith Chain? We're going to start with hammer pegs because we do not have a mirror.
At least this being a boot start seed, casual boots, you can always hammer dash once you get the hammer.
Can't do that in Swordless. That's the second item in Mire, and Orange is out of here.
Okay, so we're running out of reasonable places to check. Thankfully, there's no mirror, so Swamp is not in the equation yet. Orange has a lead, but going up the mountain now, he'll give some time back to Maniacal. We'll probably have a race again.
You mean this wasn't a race? What?
It looked like one, but your eyes deceived you. But you're blind, as we've determined, so, you know.
Yes, I'm still in Thieves Town. I still have one of your items. Yeah. So I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little bit skeeved by the potential that Mirror could just show up and put our runners in a very precarious position. Especially Maniacal, who could opt to go into Swamp before touching ice.
What does Maniacal have left besides ice? Smith and Purple Chest and that one item in Thieves? Anything else?
So. That's about it. There's nothing else we can really get right now. So he's going to be figuring out the flute is in ice very shortly by virtue of picking it up. Question is, Orange dipped out of ice on that flute. Do you think Maniacal goes the rest of the way?
Ooh, yeah. Fire Rod could also be in ice.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, because the game would never be that cruel.
Like hell it wouldn't.
Nah, the Fire Rod's on Mirrorless Purple Chest.
Chat is asking, can Fire Rod be in PED? Yes, provided... No.
No, it can't.
Turtle Rock is a Turtle Rock. Yes, provided Turtle Rock's not a pendant. There you go. I fixed that for you.
It is a pendant, so, you know. Oh, Maniacal not going into Thieves Town. He's going straight for Purple Chest. Okay, then.
Okay. Well, I mean, this means he can just run over to Ice Palace, unless this is Mirror and Purple Chest. Which would be kind of gross, as I suggest. Yeah, Pedestal can literally have nothing that we want right now. Nothing.
Because the only thing we want is Fire Rod.
Right, and we've already seen the mushrooms, so we can't even get that. We've already got the bug nets, so we can't even get that.
We could get the shovel. Shovel is, after all, the true go mode.
Who wants a shovel? Orange deciding to do this. Did he pick up a mid-air item that he's not doing any form of Herapod here?
I don't know.
Oh, really? Really nice hook and then dash strats from Maniacal going through that screen there.
Also,
and up here, and... Nope.
Also surprising that Orange decided to bomb jump there rather than just using the hook shot and bonking to get the big chest item. Usually if you have hook and boots, you just hook shot over to the Hera big chest and then bonk back.
Yeah, I know he can Herapod. I'm just kind of confused as to why he didn't. And Maniacal's last located Ice Palace, so in he goes. The thing is, we still don't know what the deal is with our progression situation here. So let's see. We're about an hour in. You want to reset this for anybody who's tuned in the last 50 minutes or so?
Yeah, so we found some breadcrumbs that let us finish Eastern and Desert. And by breaking logic, we got mitts out of Waterfall Cave. And then it turned out that this was logically an Agaseed. Our Dark World Access was supposed to be Aga to get Hammer off of Catfish, and Flippers on the Mountain to then get those mitts in the waterfall. That's been the crux of most of this. We obviously haven't seen the mirror yet, as you can see it not on the runner's trackers, and Maniacal will be getting the flute shortly, and other than that, the runners are Fire Rod from Go mode. And just as a recap, if Orange wins this, he advances, and the race between Maniacal and P-Train scheduled for tomorrow is moot. If Maniacal wins, he can also then beat P-Train tomorrow, and he will advance.
And if Maniacal wins tonight but loses tomorrow, Orange still advances if he doesn't lose tonight by more than like
A
a
minute.
minute and change.
And
now,
otherwise, P-Train would advance on the tiebreaker.
Now, interestingly enough, are we going to see Spike Cave from Orange? I like this.
You didn't like Spike Cave every time I mentioned it before.
Well,
never mind that it wasn't accessible.
When your
before.
options are Ice Palace Depths, Spike Cave, and freaking Thieves Town Big Chest, which one do you think I like the most?
I like Thieves Town Big Chest. And Maniacal is continuing into ice after getting his flute.
Listen, if Fire Rod was in Castle Tower, I'm going to call shenanigans because we're playing casual boots.
Yes, keys are not located outside their dungeon.
Orange has a fairy, but is going to opt to use this blue goo to stay alive instead. And if this is anything leading to the Fire Rod, this could actually turn this race upside down. It's just a mail upgrade, so that is not it.
And he even hard resets to regain that blue goo.
There's your big key in Ice Palace. Oh, nice dash cancel. So we're probably going to see Orange flute back to Kakariko Village here.
So what do we have left? Thieves Town Big Chest and one more item in ice? Or two
That
more
is
items?
literally it. Just the one item. So now we're going to see Orange do exactly as we just saw Maniacal do while he was going through Village of Outcasts to Kakariko. Going to check the powder. Going to probably start the Smith chain, but does he dive into Thieves?
Oh, Orange hasn't done Skull Woods yet. Chat was just asking about Skull Woods. Oh, well,
my
there's
God,
a
it's
quest.
the shovel.
But yes, Maniacal got both items out of Skull Woods. They are junk. A shield and a heart container.
We are checking that shovel post-haste. And if this is the Fire Rod, that could be bad news for Orange.
Will likely do Skull Woods before going back into ice. Yeah, he got too excited by that flute. But
It's not there. That means only one possible situation.
It really is Thieves' Big Chest.
Oh, going out of logic, hurting our runners tonight. This was a jet seed the entire time.
They just needed to do Aga and then immediately go to Catfish before
now, wait,
Pod.
Hold on. I rescind that previous remark. It could still be Mirror in the Thieves Town Big Chest.
Yes, true.
No. Yuckosaurus Rex.
But we do not speak of such evils.
Man,
oh, right. Maniacal hasn't done Mire, so he'll do Mire now. It's going to be a hard last location for both runners.
Yeah, at this point, whatever's sitting in the Thieves' Big Chest is probably the last thing on either of them's minds right now. Like, Orange is going to see these two items in Skullwoods. He might decide to do Thieves' Big Chest before starting the Smith chain. Maniacal getting the frame-perfect dash through the sparks. Very nice.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah, that's that requires you to immediately dash the instant you're out of door state.
And hey, Orange getting the two items out of Skull Woods is his first two checks in Skull Woods.
Yeah, that's good news at the very least for Orange, because Maniacal still needs to dig around in this mire, thinking that it might just be here behind the flute. Well, if Orange never goes back to ice, I'd say he has a minute advantage going forward here. Here's another thing we haven't had a gander at. What is sitting on the bumper?
Oh, Maniacal checked it was junk.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not junk, it's 10 arrows. Those are great. Do you know how much arrows are worth in this economy? Do you know how much arrows are worth in this economy?
wood shortage. Or silver shortage, since we now have silvers.
Orange is also going to go ahead and do Smith Chain. In the same order that Maniacal did.
But he has the flute, so he
Right.
can.
This is a fluted Smith Chain, so it's a little bit faster. Which is actually going to work out in Orange's advantage a little.
Well, I mean, what I don't get is when you're going back for Purple Chest, you have to use CAC Portal anyway, which takes you right past Thieves Town. Aren't you feeling at least a little tempted to go in there?
If you're gonna leave via Purple Chest Save and Quit, I don't see why you don't just go into Thieves Town. Because you're just gonna leave that item hanging out there, and if that's it, then you just go. You're not worried about the rigmarole of taking the Purple Chest back to Gary.
Well, I love seeing the bunny beams powdered under pots. I'm imagining Link doing this in the real world that, because in a real world situation, you wouldn't know that there's a bunny beam there. It's just you're throwing powder on the pot and, oh, poof, there's a fairy. How about that?
Chat has said something I consider to be sacrilege. Do you want the mushroom on Floating Island to have Fire Rod?
I had thought about that. I mean, arguably, that's not as bad as having to go Independent Swamp.
See, there's a reason that I don't watch back VODs of races I'm involved in to read chat. I watch back for the comms, because the comms aren't that mean. You guys are awful.
Okay, so now what for Orange? Because what's he got left? I mean, I suppose he could dip Turtle Rock. He hasn't been in there yet.
No, he has gone to Turtle Rock.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He saved and quit out of the Compass Chest in Turtle Rock.
Okay. I mean,
it was nothing. It wasn't even a small cave.
Maniacal also went out of there because, right, you can't do anything.
Right. So we are going to see that extra silver, because you always shoot an extra arrow at Vitreous, right? You want to make sure he's darn well dead. You want him to feel the pain of being stabbed with an arrow in the afterlife.
Better than when P-Train came up and arrows short and mirrored.
Here is the decision from Orange. Orange is fluting to 3. He is going to go right into Thieves Town. We're going to see what we're missing.
And Maniacal, of course, going back into Mire, hoping that the Fire Rod is there, which we know it isn't, but at least the two items weren't that hard. Well, no, they were both left side, weren't they? So
yeah, there's one in the Compass chest left side, and then there's also one sitting in the cutscene chest. But at least they're both left side. You're not going rubber banding left and right and left and right.
At least if you have the patience to just go for it on left side.
Thing is, in this situation, Orange is set up for a death ward, but he needs to remember that he still has a fairy.
Oh, right, because he wants to go to Skull Woods afterwards.
The Fire Rod would be your go mode. If it's Mirror here, then oh gosh, it's just...
Maniacal not happy about the wrong rod there.
No, unless you can teach an old rod new tricks. What the hell am I talking about? Teach a cold rod new tricks. There you go. That works.
But yeah, this is got to put Maniacal a couple minutes behind, since of course he'll have to save and quit and go to CAC Portal, and yeah. The moral of the story is don't do thieves without a hammer.
Terrible. Terrible. What is it, chat? Is it the Fire Rod? Is it the mirror? It's the Fire Rod. We are in go mode, and Orange is going to have to save and quit, which is fine. And you know what? That's what we get for going out of logic.
Right. Hey, we didn't have to beat Aga, so it was worth it, right?
Guess what? This was an Aga Jet Seed. Go figure. As long as you went to Catfish instead of Pot, we could be done already. All right, so that does put Orange ahead here in go mode. Maniacal's literally only got the Thieves' Big Chest left, so he is headed in the same exact direction.
And Orange has enough of a lead, it's hard to imagine blowing all of it on GT basement routing.
I mean, there's also Execution. You could have Trollorm 2 rear his ugly, googly
Right.
eyes or something. You could funnel on Ganon.
If Orange loses, it will be because of Execution.
Listen, it might be May, but if Hell Michigan freezes over.
Hey, at those latitudes, you never know.
Are they further north than I am? Question mark?
I don't know, probably about the same. Isn't
It was
Minnesota always a frozen
degrees.
wasteland?
It was 70 degrees today in freedom units. That's for those of you keeping track at home, it's low 20s. Low 20s today.
In fake units.
Get out of here.
I'm sorry, Fahrenheit is superior for air temperature.
No, it's not. The Kelvin scale is superior.
Hey, you've seen that meme, right? About like Fahrenheit, 0, very cold, 100, very hot. Celsius, 0, kind of cold, 100, dead. Kelvin, 0, dead, 100, dead. Anyway, there is crystal number 7 for Orange. We've got a
big
wizard
key that
to
we
attend
don't
to.
need. We do. We have a tower to climb. Hopefully we climb it from inside the tower, not the outer walls.
I mean...
Maniacal was going to save and quit. And he's gonna death warp. He's gonna death warp here.
Does he have a fairy?
Is this faster? I don't know if he... Did you... No. Did you use your fairy? Did he pick up the bottle on Pier? He had to have, right?
I don't know, we'll see.
Because they both have 2 bottles. Oh, Maniacal, no!
Feels bad, man.
See, Orange just straight up saved and quit. That fairy's still insurance in his pocket for all hell breaking loose.
Maniacal releasing the good
free the bee! Setting free the bee!
That could be useful in the moth fight, though.
But no, you've got a tempered sword. That stings harder than any bee ever will. Alright, Maniacal is out of Thieves Town, does not have to take the transitional portal to get back to Village of Outcasts, to get back to Skullwoods. He just needs to run his ass off to Mothula.
If the tempered sword doesn't sting like a bee, I hope it at least floats like a butterfly.
That is one light sword. Where's this key gonna be, Drosy?
Rando room? It's always in rando room.
Is it tool time?
It isn't.
Is it tool time, Drosy? You're like, It's always in one of the 22 checks in GT's basement not named the big chest. Unless you're playing Key Sanity. And we have an 80 keys tourney that started literally this coming Monday. We can start playing games. Actually,
people already started.
You know, we almost
played his match earlier this evening.
We almost had this very game delayed because previous to this match, Maniacal and his opponent for the 80 keys tournament decided, hey, why not now? Orange deciding that he is also not interested in the fairy. And this is the correct routing to take here.
Yeah.
We're doing Hope hard left because we do not have a mirror. And now you just death warp when you find the big key.
Yeah, heads up on remembering mirrorless GT basement routing. And if it happens to be in the vanilla room, at that point it's probably easier to walk out than death warp.
Now what you do is you pick up the big chest and you find out it's the mirror and you just mirror from there. It's like, oh, who the hell cares?
Right, at that point you basically have to meme grab the big chest.
Now, do you as they call it, pink magician if the mirror's right here? Oh, it's just the big key. Okay, fine game. Be nice.
So now I think you walk back out.
Yeah, you just do the whole bonk back hook over here, run out, and there you go. For those of you keeping score, that would be the 7th check that Orange made. Yeah, walking backwards. I mean, I would love to see a sprite that just walks backward. Imagine just flipping all of the walk cycles. We already got Staring Jim, right? Michael Jackson sprite.
I mean, we do like. I could see Michael Jackson wearing that red mage costume, right?
I mean, if you dye it black, he's already wearing it. In Smooth Criminal, if you dye it white, he's already wearing it. Michael Jackson as Freya. It's a Final Fantasy IX movie as dictated by AI. No, thank you. Who gets to play Vivi? That's what I want to know. Maniacal on his way up to Ganon's tower. He will probably make the same routing call, honestly, with no key in Hope Room. You kind of have to. So he'll have the same big key, and it's literally an execution and don't fall sort of deal here. Danny DeVito as Vivi? Oh my god. That's awesome!
Danny DeVito. I could see him wearing that hat.
Oh, that little bump from the debris when the landmail comes out of the ground is all it takes to just put you off the scripted silvers here.
Though Orange still has plenty of breathing room.
Oh yeah, Orange is an entire gauntlet ahead right now, and Maniacal still needs to go left and get that key. So again, there are still things that can happen to create catastrophe. Orange did drop his fairy. He no longer has a fairy in his pocket, so if he does take a death...
He does have powder.
Yeah, he does have powder. But if he does take a death, like, if he hugs Ganon, that's 8 hearts of damage, because we've seen both male upgrades skipped. You could fall 7 times on Moldorum too. I'm not saying that I've ever seen that happen.
Oh, right, he hard reset out of that male upgrade.
Yes, we also saw the other one sitting on Zora Ledge that neither runner was ever going to get.
Because they didn't have the flippers at the time, and it wasn't worth splash deleting.
And there's the big key. Maniacal's going to just pull out Ether and call that easy. That was easy.
Seems reasonable to me. And Orange having 3 keys already, no need to beat Mini Helmas.
Listen, I didn't say I've never heard of it happening. I said I've never seen it. Oh, muscle memory, this check, why not? What are we looking for? Are we just looking for, like, the mirror or the shovel or something?
Yeah, gotta see where the mirror is. I'm honestly curious. I mean, it pretty much had to be in GT. No, we now have Turtle Rock available as well.
We do have Turtle Rock available with that Fire Rod. At least we won't get a hint for where the silvers are. You know, because they were just in Thieves Town.
Right, which if we had, put off until we had the hammer, we wouldn't have wound up last locating the Fire Rod.
Alright, it's math time.
How were your grades in agonometry? I did not do well.
People usually say F in chat, so it can't be that good.
Hey, there's a double at least.
A double F? That's fast forward. Well, that's 2 Fs. Or 2 double Fs. So now we're like...
A double-double, I feel like I'm an in-and-out, except now it's a triple-double.
It's a triple-double. So now we're Russell Westbrook? Is he even still playing basketball? Who's the big name in basketball these days? I have no idea.
Well, considering I was just in a conversation this morning with a 4-year-old who was attempting to spell Giannis Atembo's last name, or however you pronounce it. He missed about 6 letters.
Giannis... someone help me out here. I don't remember what his last name is. Anyway, it is a Ganon fight. Oh, that Stalfo's just decided to keep on rolling. Speaking of rolling, that double spin on the Trident enables the 1-on-1 for Orange.
Rolling, Rawhide.
Oh no! We whiffed on the dash poke, so it's a 2-in-1, but it is the free corner, so here we go.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a 1-cycle phase 2.
In fact, it was pretty much 2 1-cycle phase 2s all at once.
Maniacal making his way up the tower. Orange is still ahead by more than a Ganon fall, though.
I mean, again, It's not over till it's over, Drosy.
Yes, he could take multiple Ganon falls, but
He
that
could
would be
literally
extremely rare.
stand for the fanfare and step off the 1x3 bridge. You never know.
Yes, I know, I know. I've seen that happen
Well,
too,
we,
but
we could also do that. Oh my goodness.
okay. Yeah.
That can we? Oh my god, we got the spin off of the initial teleport,
Didn't quite
and
get the
then
triple
oh
there.
my god.
Oh,
Okay,
or was that the anyway,
that was a
GG
triple.
Orange.
Well saved there by Orange. Hold on, I need to swallow my heart for a second.
And he finishes with an official race time of 1:20.29, and in doing so advances to the final group stage, where he will join Ninjembro, Thalane, and Ganon's Gone Wild.
There goes Moldorm 2 for Maniacal. He has one final trip to make here before his fight with the Big Pig, and that is, once again, a math lesson.
Meanwhile, we're joined by Orange here, who maybe you can calm Maniacal's Ganon fight. And GG in any case.
GG.
Orange, do you mind not literally scaring me out of my skeleton?
That was a sketchy phase 4, wasn't it?
Listen, if by sketchy you mean kindergarten art class, that was a phase 4, if I've ever seen one. Why'd you go for the spin?
Sometimes you'll get a hidden, sometimes you'll get the freeze. I was hoping for the freeze.
I might have been happier spamming the B button there. In any case, you got real turned around by where he decided to go after that. You took a hug. That's exactly what I was afraid of at that point of this race, is that a Ganon death or a Ganon fall, especially since you dumped your fairy in Hope Room, could have been kind of bad.
Mirrorless Seed. I don't want a fairy when I'm looking for the big key.
Exactly.
As opposed to Maniacal, who, tried to death warp out of Thieves when he got the Fire Rod and failed.
Oh no, he succeeded in death warping into a fairy revive. And then he death warped
didn't
again.
warp him.
Oh, it warped him to the pearly gates for about 2 seconds. Oh,
And
Maniacal will get this 1-on-1, yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have against Thieves Town?
It was impressive seeing both of you last locate the Fire Rod.
Well, in my case, it was second to last.
Yeah, you never went back for the shovel that you left in Ice Palace.
Oh, right.
That shovel that's literally worth $20, which is not worth the amount of time we went to go get it. I was actually deathly afraid for that Ice Palace check. Maniacal's on the top row because he got the 1-on-1, so Ganon decided to go corner to corner there.
Nice triple, though, to finish it off.
Yeah, well done. Well done by both runners here. Honestly, all in all, a rather fast seed.
For a logical Aga seed where neither runner did Aga and suffered the consequences. But GG's to Maniacal, 123.26, so just under 3-minute difference.
Yeah, GG to Orange.
GG Maniacal. Okay, I asked Orange this question. I'm going to ask you the same question in the same tone. What do you guys have against Thieves Town?
Nothing.
Oh.
I went there second to last, so I did think about behind the mitts just immediately Kern jumping when I found Hookshot, but I decided against and decided to go do Mountain. Then when it was Flippers, I thought about doing it immediately, but I basically just said, it's Thieves, I'll just knock the crystal out. But I went there about when it was the right time to go there, I felt like, because if you force the logic of the seed, you have the hammer for a really long time, and so it just didn't seem like a very likely live out, depending on how Orange chose to play it. So I had to hope that Orange was last locating the Fire Rod at some point, but I didn't know. It sounds like he must have gone there fairly close to last, but not actually last.
It was next to last for him. He dipped out of Ice Palace after
Okay.
getting the flute.
So we
Gross.
actually routed this pretty much word for word until you decided to go to Hera and Orange decided to go to Ice and dipped out on the flute.
Okay, that's aggressive, but interesting. I mean, the mountain climb was bad, but with the ether tab there, it was like a 3-item crystal versus a 3-item pendant. So I don't know.
Well, my line of thinking here was that I had just pulled Hookshot, Samaria, and Bombos all on the same sphere. Seat's kind of screaming ice.
Well, Samaria has nothing to do with it, right? And the hook shot is in the same sphere behind the hammer, as with the bombos, and so I got that. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like not taking the hook shot to density there because that led to the flippers, which were a deeper sphere. But the bombos, Samaria, and hookshot were all in the sphere before the flippers, right?
Right. As soon as I pulled
So
those
it was
flippers,
just flippers, and flippers had already led to mitts logically, and so DDM is way down logic of Ice Palace, right?
right. But
So I didn't want to chase there.
the other thing that was on my mind was that because the mitts were in the deepest sphere, and I had also just pulled the items to kind of full clear ice earlier,
Yeah,
then ice made the most sense for me
sure. I mean,
because
you've
I
got.
had because
Sorry, go ahead.
the other thing I was hoping to do was make Hera my last crystal.
Sure, yeah. I mean, reasonable because the mountain climb's gross, but I figured the mountain climb in TR dive is basically a push if ice is empty, right?
Right.
So
Yeah. But yeah, as soon as I got those flippers, I just hightailed it over to East Dark World because I knew logically the hammer was there.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just
The-
it. The
And
way
you both
everything just
went to
kind of panned
Catfish
out.
first. Oh,
Mhm.
sorry.
Well, given that that was my best way to get over there, and B, Catfish was also in Logic, and I'm right there. I also needed to be thorough in that area because the last thing I wanted to do was go immediately to Pod. Hammer's not there. Have to go check Pyramid Ledge and Catfish for Hammer and go back in.
Yeah, I thought about splash deleting post hype cave and just going over, but with mountain available, it seemed like I would rather just force the flippers, and so I kind of did the same thing.
Yeah, because part of the my line of thinking also was I kind of knew it was a logical Agassiz, but it
Mhm.
was to go get flippers for mitts. And that was why I
Exactly.
put off East Dark World until I got the real flippers. I was like, oh my God, I have to get over to the East Dark World now.
It was a 50-50 that it was going to be hammer or flippers in East Dark World, and so I like Orange was saying, I didn't want to go over there and find the flippers to get my mitts to then put everything back in logic and find my hammer in like Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, I
And then
think
you both got flips on the mountain.
Yeah, and then went to East Dark World, I'm sure.
I think you both went straight to Catfish too, which in this
Mhm.
situation, not having done Aga is absolutely like if you do Aga and you go straight to Catfish, you're only single dipping pot anyway.
Mhm.
But in the case where you get your mitts early and you just go, now you're single dipping pod without having to slog through Castle Tower with the 3 swords and plenty of other fun things in our arsenal that we had. Pretty
Yeah.
fast seed, even in or out of logic, until you get that snag where you don't have the hammer and thieves.
Yeah.
So actually, thinking about it, you could have ended up going into TR if you had the fire rod, couldn't you?
Well, I did go into TR.
Well, I mean, I
We
meant
both did.
deeper into TR.
Yeah. I was
Like,
gonna say I went into TR until it told me no.
Hold on. There's a voice in the back of my head saying that I've asked you guys the wrong question to open up this interview. So here, I'll ask you the right question now. What do you
yeah.
two have against Skull Woods?
Um,
Garbage.
it's overworld if it's a pendant. If it's a crystal, I am not going in without a fire rod. Unless it's inverting.
Yeah, I've already lost my 1 seed, this invitational to Fire Rod being in the front of Skullwoods. If it was going to do it again, I was like, "Alright, cool."
I was like, I could hear the eyes rolling just thinking about it.
I mean, that was a really quick 2 item zone, Skull Woods.
It wasn't bad.
Wasn't
Yeah, it was
bad
the
in
first 2 checks.
unless you go to the middle first, then you
I was gonna
get
say no, wasn't.
no. It's because I think in that case you always do the middle first. Because if it's fire rod and the big key chest, you just go.
Hmm. Yeah, I was a little worried that it was going to be that, but, it wasn't.
I was worried it was going to be mirror the thieves' big chest.
Yeah. So
I
throughout this
I
whole seed, after I SMQ'd out of Ice Palace, and it turned out that my Go Mode Fire Rod was not into my area, I was like, oh, I probably should not have saved and quit out of Ice.
Yeah, I thought that my live outs were likely the dig spot or that Mirror was on exactly Pyramid Ledge. Um, as it turns out, those were not live outs, or they didn't hit. So
And
alas,
while I was last locating the Fire Rod, I was thinking internally, Maniacal can out execute me. So my only real hope of winning this is if the item I skipped in Ice Palace is the mirror and he gets baited into Swarm.
no, I felt like I played okay. I don't know. I can't win races. I give up at this point. I just do not understand it.
Well, we don't want you to give up because getting here is part of the journey towards, kind of pushing your weight around. You got farther than I did. I
Well,
also ran into a train of a group, though.
there are 15 people in this invitational who won't win it.
Yeah,
And that's not
it's
accounting for the number of people that tried to play their way in. So the fact that you and I can, you know, kind of muscle our way to the top when it was that much of a dogfight at the very end says quite a bit too.
yeah. It's just, I'm on a bit of a run here. I think I'm 0-9 in my last 9 games between this invitational and the main tournament, so not running too good.
And
But
ups and
just
downs are
just
a thing.
trying, just trying. But GG to Orange. Probably won't race P Train. Sorry if anyone was looking forward to that one. Just don't feel like it, honestly.
Well, and it would only be for what, bragging rights anyway?
Yeah, for fun, to waste time. I don't know, but I don't feel like doing it, so I'll just forfeit it because it's inconsequential. If there was consequence for anyone else, I would play it because I think it's kind of bad to drop when it affects other people. But at this point, P Train and I are both dead, so there's no reason to play it.
That just means you just go play like Swordness Enemizer or something, right?
Or a lot of 80 keys.
Something like that.
Well, GG Maniacal.
Yeah, appreciate the restream. GG to Orange. Sorry I didn't play any better, but you know, I gave what I had to give.
It was, nonetheless, very close race at the end of the day. It, I hate to see what would have happened if one of you guys found the mirror. Oh gosh. Or got the fire rod early and we're still looking for flute.
The way I see it, if you stay in logic, you're going to have Flute Go mode. If you sequence break added to the Dark World access, you're going to have Fire Rod Go mode. Unless you're just afraid of going into Hammerless Thieves Town.
Oh, but by the way, Orange, I just remembered one other thing to comment on. Interesting approach to Meyer cutscene.
Um, yeah, I screwed up the block puzzle, and
Oh,
my immediate instinct was to just fall down the hole as
Yeah,
if I was playing
I
doors.
can't remember the last time I saw someone fall down that hole. I forgot that it even drops you down to the level below. I thought you were just going to take damage.
Myers that one dungeon in the game where they don't tell you that there's a floor below. It's just all black flooring.
It is a legitimate doors gotcha.
Also, we saw both of you guys fall into a little pit today.
Which
I
one?
can't I can't say I see a lot of runners fall into the little hole on the Old Man Rescue.
I was
I,
going for the edge boost and I messed up.
Oh,
I was a pixel too high. It sucks. But
wait,
that
did I
was consistent with me how I played all day.
I guess
did
you
I
can get a little extra if you're skittering across that corner. You can just move slightly faster than Old Man speed.
Yeah, it gives you an edge walk boost. It's the exact same thing as if you're pot carrying in Hera to throw at the beetle and the NMG strat in the pots room.
TIL.
remember falling into a hole though. I know I did accidentally go into the back of Mountain Cave because of an accident with hook speed.
No, you intentionally fell into the mire hole, but Maniacal did slip off the corner of the Old Man Rescue hole.
Uh,
Because I'm going to write that one down. I might have to see if I can learn it. 'Cause those little time saves can add up after a while.
Yeah, I think it saves like 12 frames or something.
Yeah, let's go.
It's very reasonable. Like it's a pretty chunky time save. It saves like a good fraction of a second. And I think if you're within 8 pixels of the edge, it works. So it's pretty cozy. I just cut it a little close because I was headed up the mountain and trying to think of what did I do. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go up the mountain at that point, but I wanted to be sure that it wasn't Hammer there before I went over into Village. And so I was running through contingencies on what if like various items show up on mountain, what's the routing choice, and I just wasn't really paying attention to the old man cave. So I cut the corner a little tight.
I'm about tapped. Do we have anything else?
I think I'm good.
No, just thanks. Good luck to the people who are still alive in this one in the next round.
GG's again.
Yeah, let's get one more round of GGs for Maniacal and Orange. And if you haven't followed these two fantastic people, I'm going to say, hey, you should probably be doing that. Please?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, these are two great runners. This was a close race. It could have gone either way.
And these are two people that I've learned a lot from just in my travels, too. So, yeah, let's go. That'll put this one in the books for tonight, though. Orange, moving on to round of four that also includes Ganon's Gone Wild, The Lane, and Ninjembro. It's pretty tough customers up there. We'll give you guys week 3 after this weekend. Let's see how this invitational wants to pan out, shall we?
Yeah, good luck, Orange, going forward, and it's gonna be a tough group.
I am honestly surprised I've even gotten this far.
Well, you just need to take down, 2 out of 3 of GGW, Thelanen, and Jembro. Easy, right?
Uh, we'll see.
We should probably wrap this up so Dunga can go to bed, because he's got some work to do.
Yes, he has to prepare Lazy Kid for, handling the scheduling for the next round. And just as a reminder, since I don't think we said this explicitly, after the next round, the top 2 runners will advance to a simple best of 3 final, head-to-head.
Yeah, and we'll be looking forward to that after this coming week of races involving the 4 aforementioned, which again is still group round robin, but it will be the top 2 that play off after this week. Until then, yeah, big thanks to Dunka for putting this one on for you guys, and Maniacal and Orange for being willing to strut some stuff on Restream for us.
Oh, sorry, I spaced. It's almost 1 a.m. here.
Thank you, Drossi, for
Oh,
giving me a reason to finally con with you for the first time in 2 years.
yes. No, I'm really glad we could do this. Thank you for stepping up and giving me a co-com.
I look at my phone at work. I'm like, oh, Drossi wants to call this game. Hey, I know these runners. Let's get in on this.
Yeah, well, it was getting towards Dunka's, self-imposed limit for canceling the restream if there were no comms, and I was like, okay, I think I can stay up this late, even though I'm feeling kind of tired. So I'm glad we could do this.
Yeah, and we'll have to do it again sometime, but not right now. Right now, we need to vamoose.
Indeed. Give Dunka his beauty sleep.
Yeah, thank you, Dunker, for giving us a show tonight and putting on this invitational. We will be back in the coming week. Hopefully, we'll get some of these games up. Until then, y'all have a good night out there, okay?
Good night,
Or
everyone.
actually, have a good day
Oh,
if you're just waking up. You never know.
okay, Europe. Yes, have a good day.
Or have a great afternoon if you're in Australia. You never know.